The baddest DJ this side of town. Mixing the heat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
DJ Disspare.
What up, what up, what up, world? This is DJ Disspare, and I have the legendary Ali Shabazz, Cuddy Mack in the building. Author, dancer, man of all tricks podcast. What's going on with you?
What's up, Cuddy Mack? You know, Cuddy Mack in full time. You know how we get down.
So, big brother, it's been a minute since we last talked, and the last time we talked, you hit me with one of these books, like during the time that I was in need when I was going through some things, and you uplifted me. You had me seeing things on a different light, and a lot of the conversations and stuff we had, you've talked about the legends, you talked about people you worked with and danced with. So I want the world to know how I know you and what's going on. So give us a bit about who Cuddy Mack is.
That's right. But since you had that classic urban novel right there, Young Lux on the West Side, I'm currently working on part 3 right about now. So like I said, right now I'm in mode because we're approaching football season, and I always like to do something aggressive and testosterone driven around this time. So I'm actually getting back into coaching, putting on my Coach Cuddy hat, and working on Young Lux 3 at the same time. So I'm about to lock in for a good 30 days and hopefully come out, with a championship and a Pulitzer Prize.
So knowing now you're coaching, you got your podcast. Tell me about the podcast. How's that going? How did you start that up?
Okay,
you're talking to a lot of legends in the game, that you danced with and hung out with. So I like that.
Indeed. So we're doing hip hop dance stories. We have all the elements of hip hop. You got your rapping, your DJing, your graffiti, and your dancing. And so, I had to represent the dance hard because, sounds like sometimes we put a lot of energy in the game and we seem to be overlooked. So I can't let that happen. So one day, me and Bilo were just chopping up game, and we just told a quick little story when we sent ourselves on tour, put our own little money together. And from there, it just took off. And everybody chimed in. And we brought Afro aboard that very next week, no hesitation, because she was down with us day one. And we put it together. So we bring the best dancers of all time, come to the platform, tell their story. And we got dope stories, you know what I'm saying? Because it was we was getting in the clubs and even a little, I wouldn't say better for no competition, but almost better because we had no record out and things like that. So to be able to get in the club, walk through just like the top rappers and DJs did, that meant something, especially on the dance tip, for real. So, we paved the way, and we got dope stories. We got dope tour stories and everything. So now it's our time to shine. You don't want to tell your stories too early because dance is also a finicky game. If you even see the texture of the dance, say outside the dance world where everybody's involved, even now, the last thing probably hit, old ladies and stuff like that was tuning in to dance was probably the Jabberwockies. So look at that big old gap. That's been a big gap. You know what I'm saying? So the next run should be coming around soon.
So in your dance career, what made you actually get your feet wet and start, deciding this is something I want to do?
Okay, I got my feet wet at the infamous Uncle Jam's Army. That was the biggest dance promotion on the West Coast. It would be 10,000 party people there inside a sports arena. That's where USC basketball team played. You did? You know what I'm saying? So they was packing jams there, dances, no alcohol. Picture that, So that's where I got my feet wet. That's where I first saw Run DMC. First saw, New Edition popped up, LL. But people would never, unless you were there, you would never know that, as big as Run DMC in them was, Egyptian Lover was a star. DJing, not his records, to see him DJ. Crowd, that's the only time the crowd was actually stopped dancing when Egyptian Lover got on stage about midnight and did his little set. Man, it was amazing. So from there, though, like I said, that was all older kids. I was 14. Like I said, really absorbing, but participating in the freak line.
Yeah.
So then we move on to Ultra Wave, which was all dance competition. And that was on the west side of LA, you know, and whole different scene, whole different look. So if you remember the era, we're kind of getting into like the English beat and the madness and ska and stuff like that. So the west side had that look, you know, slick back hair, tapered pants, you know, Doc Martin shoes, you know, having that look. So that was like, the, you know, the old man suits, kind of like the Temptations, if he was like, you know, dancing. But they went to that look. So it still went with the music though, because it was still computer driven type music, type beats. But then when hip hop came in, the whole movement changed, the pace changed. So say we was going trendy era, everything started out at 120 beats per minute. Like that was the minimum. You know, sometimes it was even faster. You know, like say craft work. That, you know, everybody knows craft work numbers or Tour de France. Take those, right, which is already kind of an upbeat song. We would turn those up even faster during the trendy era. You know, not chipmunk fast, but fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 120 was the minimum. So we talking 130s, 140s. That was the beat. That was the pace of the music. And I saw in the long run for dance, it gave us mad endurance. I tell you that. That's why Soul Brothers was able to hold so many combinations for so long. I guess that came from the practice from the trendy era, because the beats was just fast. You know what I'm saying? So now we had a slow pace with the hip hop. You know, rap's coming in, the money's new. So we were 7, 8 man groups back then. So as you see, when Kane and them came out, Houdini just had 2 dancers. So unfortunately, fortunately, we got to keep 3. And thus me, B-Love, and Craigie came on the scene as Soul Brothers Hip Hop. And man, we started putting in work. Real serious about it.
So who have you toured with as a backup dancer and stuff?
Man, we got to go with, of course, Deb Jeff.
Oh, wow.
And even back then and now, it's still Houdini, Dougie Fresh. And I'm talking current stuff now, like what's happening now. We do old school stuff, shows and stuff. So anytime we need to really put some heat on some cats, we still the go-to guys. So like I said, Houdini calls when they come to the West Coast, Dougie Fresh, yo. So yeah, we get down like that. But back in the day, shit, Brand New Heavies, De La Soul, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, shit, Booyah Tribe, shit, Redhead Kingpin, Rex and Effect. I mean, everybody, man. Too Short.
I love the industry because a lot of people don't know it from the dancer side of it. And like, I had a fortunate time of growing up with breakdancing and dancing with dance groups and doing, you know, fashion shows and all those little things we were growing up, because it was a thing to do. Like we all knew how to do rhythm, even because we watch every video and everything. And I used to watch a lot of things that you did, like a lot. Like your routines were like so like perfect to do, because you could just stunt on anybody and just switch into anything. You don't even know what's going on, because you know. And then because most of the times when you see with certain dancers, they will let off what move they're gonna do, what's their dominant stuff, and you know, certain things, right? And there's not a lot of dancers who can freestyle, like, you know, just randomly just work. And that's what I loved about what hip hop brought and you guys brought, because you changed through so many different genres of music, like just the styles. And you came into that, like when hip hop just turned its style to, like, you know, like 88 beats per minute to 70 something, like that must have just been a whole nother, like, routines must have been so much easier to do because they weren't as fast as they used to be. You know what I mean? Like, because when you watch some videos, you watch Heavy D, you watch, you know, Bismarcky, rest in peace. I've seen the stuff with, like, you know, Doc Ice and UTFO and all that, like, you know, and then even saying working with Houdini, I used to love watching those videos.
Yeah, man.
And wanted to learn how to do those. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like.
It was, man, best times.
Did you ever get a chance to work with MC Hammer?
MC Hammer, man, we had a great relationship with MC Hammer, but we always kind of kept it allies first, rival second. So meaning that when it was just us and it was like, we first met, like who was gonna dominate this movement right here in the circle. So that's when it becomes rivals. But when it's time to come to LA and combine to make his show even greater, then we were straight allies.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how that went down with Hammer.
Huh. So who have you ever had a chance to, like, say you're at a party or something and then you're dancing and someone tried to challenge you, like famous? Like anybody ever tried to challenge you, like from like the legends, like,
Man, a few, but I'm gonna tell you one that comes to mind, like the one you said, the way you phrased it. First one comes to mind, man. Man, I don't know why they did that. Fucking Aaron Hall.
What?
We was about to try to get it on right after the Soul Train Awards, and we was about to just spar. It wasn't even no battle. We was about to just light up the scene with Scoob and Scrap Lover. Because I already knew them already, but the other two Soul Brothers didn't know them that well yet. And so it was time for us, all of us to meet, right? So we get to the floor, and for some reason, Aaron Hall jumps in there and starts doing his Aaron Hall moves on Craig. Man, Craig destroys this dude. Craig destroys this cat, and then it was like a fight, right? Like, you know how a fight be when you you get beat up and you tell your friend, yo, get this fool. So Aaron Hall knew he was just like destroyed. So he was like, get this fool and grab Scrap and push Scrap in the circle. So by now, Craig zoned out. He don't even see his Scrap. So it was like,
oh man,
they almost went head up for a minute, but it was like, yo, that's my boy. So, but yeah, Aaron Hall was terrible, awful. I don't know why he did that.
So, have you ever come across anything like, being around Michael Jackson? Because during that time, there's a lot of y'all that were dancing, and then because we got a chance to talk to certain people, and
that comes up more now than ever. That right there, that was the one that just kind of like shut us down for a minute. That was like, and I hate to be that because we always fashioned ourselves to follow the blueprint of Muhammad Ali, even the ups and downs. But that blow right there, we was George Foreman. We got knocked out, and it took us about 10 years to get back up.
Explain. I got to hear
well, we locked it in. I'm not going to make the long story, but we locked it in, and we were going to have our own part with Michael Jackson and Remember the Time.
Oh.
I mean, man, we had the dopest gear. They built us our own set. You know what I'm saying? That's all making sense to you. They built us. They asked us, like, we never been in a position to be like, what do you want? Yo, we want a staircase. Yo, I want to slide right there around. Yo, I want a podium, 3 podiums right there so we can do, wall work. Right?
Y'all did too much.
It built all that, right? Gave us dope gear. We had riding boots. I mean, we look like the 3 wise men pretty much.
What?
So first happened, Mike caught the flu. So that kind of delayed shooting. And now that I'm in post-production now, I'm like, man, they was really killing the budget. Because, like, it's a video. You know what I'm saying? Like, should movies take 6 weeks, 8 weeks, A video took like 3 weeks. That's too long for a 3-4 minute video. But anyway, that happened first. So then I can say, I don't want to say a name yet, but we all have an idea who it was. Our call time for the day we were supposed to shoot was crossed out and pencil too. It crossed our out at number 2 pencil. So say if our call time was 3, somebody put 6 or some shit like that, And so when we got there, John thinks it was kind of hot. He was like, man, where y'all been? We was like, man, we on time. Our call time's at 6. Y'all call time's at 3. Look at the paper. So he looked at the paper and saw somebody crossed our shit out. So now he's like, all right, man, we only got a little time, man, get dressed. So we got dressed, we warmed up, getting ready, and he was counting it down. 10 minutes to the Soul Brothers Michael Jackson part. Everybody, even the cameraman is like, I can't wait for this. So all the dancers change clothes, come out. Everybody, I mean, it's like an audience is waiting for our part. 5 minutes, Soul Brothers, Michael Jackson part. 2 minutes, take the set. You know what I'm saying? Then John Singleton walk up. I'm thinking he's like, man, about to pump us up. He's like, yo, man, we can't do it. We ran out of time. I was like, man, oh shit, Cuddy. Brody, we sat in that spot. It was like a straight movie. We sat in that spot for at least the next hour. Just sat there. Didn't move.
Man, so
On
somebody sabotaged you guys?
Yeah, on the set they built, we just sat there, man. I'm like, this is some bullshit. So yeah, man. So like I said, it didn't we didn't leave the game. Cause you know what I'm saying, they ran us out the game, but it was like, if you know the art and science of dance,
yeah,
we did that to catapult us to the next wave, because like I said, G-Funk was coming in. Like I said, dance has its moments. Dance has its moment and it disappears. Moment disappears. So we know that would have catapulted us overseas and been able to make the quality paper and stuff we had to make, instead of still teaching dance class and shit like that, which a lot of my cats are doing now.
So you see a lot of things like that, like, you got to look at it as a blessing, because, one situation could have went certain ways, but it pushed you to a different way that made you realize that you can't trust nobody in the industry.
That's why I was so hesitant when John Singleton came back around and used Young Lokes on the west side that you have there for Snowfall. He had all the actors read it. So I had no excitement. I got no thrill for ooh, John Singleton's having my shit. Because after that first rodeo, you gotta come with it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come with it. And he didn't, but like I said, he was still playing mind games. And but he pumped us up to the point where I was sick of it. So I went and bought because he said he wasn't gonna help me. But I don't know if he was doing reverse psychology or what. But I went and bought the camera lights that you see behind me. Yeah. And we started filming our own shit. Now that's not even what I wanted to do. I'm just an editor by nature, but after that, I'm like, fuck it. Well, I do it.
You see, that's why I look up to guys like you, because it's like you didn't just go to these things and not want to learn things. You know what I mean? Like, I know you at the set, you dance and everything, but you watching the camera guy, the director, going, "Okay, that's how they do it." All right,
watch.
Because that was education for us, and a lot of people never took it like that. That a lot of us learned from watching and hands-on being in certain situations. Like, you learned endurance by watching another dancer doing things and then working with that dancer and then finding out how they do their exercise, what they drink before they go, how they, like alkaline water, all that different stuff and everything. Like, your body's a temple when it comes to dancing, because anything could happen. And like, have you ever had any severe injuries like during dancing that's caused you to like chill out for a bit or, take it easy?
Early in the game. It was early in my rookie season too. So we talking like, it was right about leaving football, 11th grade. What's 11th grade? 17? Yep, 17. I had one, but that same knee is starting to like aggravate me now. So I'm gonna have to revisit that, in the next 20 years. But I do my best, what I'm saying? I keep doing my little knee exercises. But
CBD and THC. I'm telling you that right now. The bombs and creams.
Sure.
I've
been using that, but
I'm gonna find a way to get you some of that strong stuff we got from Canada.
One time, I wouldn't blame dancing. What happened was I went snowboarding.
You see,
and, I let that heel raw.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's actually probably what like aggravated again.
It's funny. I was telling my kids and everybody, I was like, they're like, oh yeah, snowboarding. I'm like, yeah, we used to do that. Yeah, right. I'm just like, every interview lately I've been having, someone's bringing that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then a lot of people don't understand that we did have a lifestyle outside of music, outside of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so what do you do for fun outside of the music and writing? Like, what do you do to prep yourself and enjoy, like, get a break from it?
Man. Well, since like me being an only child, I'm adventurous. So I'm kind of down for anything. But my pure excitement, man, I just like how, like I said, going on doing new things, meeting a nice, pretty sister and making it happen from there. You know, that's like that's my favorite pastime.
Swag,
So it's
swag.
like that is everything that comes involved with it. You know, if
Cut.
it's taking a trip or whatever the case may be. But like I said, we just went zip lining for Father's Day. So me and my
Nice.
son. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
see
like
that.
up for anything.
So being a father and like, so now is your son taking into what you do and your interest in anything what you got going on?
Actually, he bringing his art skills out now with his clothing. Stay out the way clothing and Shabazz
Nice.
clothing. Yep, he's been doing that. Came late. So, but yeah, he's just taking that in now. He was
Hey
always
man,
like
it's never
he
late.
was always on that math tip for a while.
Hey, it's never late. Look at the other brother. He started kicking off his right now. So, you
Yeah.
know, got wrestled up to the cocaine brand, salute the cocaine. So I
Man,
was,
man, is that the rapper cocaine?
yeah, that's our brother cocaine.
Man, this new shit is hard with him and
I
Cool Rock Ski.
know.
That's my shit.
But I'm saying that's why now it was like I want to see y'all start doing that serious gangster boogie.
Man,
Like,
man, man, and Cool Rock laid over that flow, man, like he was fresh. You know what I'm saying?
but you see, this is what I love about.
Oh, that shit was dope.
That's what I mean about you guys. Give like I grew up on all y'all, so y'all being around, still doing things and all stuff. I like the music that's out today. Don't get me wrong, I ain't hating on it. It's my kids' stuff. They listen to it. Like when I was listening to hip hop, my parents were barely in between. My grandparents didn't like it. So it's like when you get older, you start to understand that the 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 difference of what you like, what other people like, especially being a DJ. And then, it's like doing dance routines and all stuff. You got to figure out what certain songs will go to work with certain people. Like what certain routines is going to wow the crowd, everything. Everything's an art and a wow factor and a challenge in life. Because ever sit down one day and think of a dance move that nobody thought you could do and then you pulled it off? What kind of move? Like, you ever done anything like that?
Not necessarily because you're in the moment. It's not until you look back on it and
Okay.
you be like, "Whoa, what was that?" So yeah, like when you're in the moment. But no, I was never the flipper or the daredevil cat like that. I was more the smooth showman. That's my
Uh,
style. So yeah, so hitting a dope flip into a splits or something was never like. But like I said, some shit like I said, you don't know when you're in that zone and you be like, "Woo." So those are like my moments right there. When you
so,
see something so cold, you be like, man, you know you in that zone.
so when you've done touring with other artists and stuff like that, have you ever got to a point where you've actually showed up the artist on stage like so bad that it just like
Oh yeah, that's why it was so hard for us to come up. That was our known for. It was like that's why it tripped me out. And before I go into that, I want to just say once again, shout out to Cocaine and them because like say it's always, you get respect from your peers and dancing and stuff like that. But when like the Cocaines and the Battle Cats and the 187s be like, y'all our favorite dancers, that's a whole nother level. You feel me? Because they in a whole different lane
oh, trust
over
me.
here doing G Funk, but still propping us up on our Soul Brother Boogie. So and mutual respect with them. So it was like that kind of like keeps me driven like to this day. So anyway, but yeah, showing up Kessler, like so say we watched the what was that movie Cadillac Records with Muddy Waters and then was like going spot to spot,
Hmm.
looking for cats to take out the headhunters. That was our mentality. You know what I'm saying? So any artist, like you said, they had to go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all even now. Like when we going against somebody good with Houdini, man, he'll let us know this is a cool show, it's a classy show. This is lights out right here, lights out James Tony. So now we go into there with that mentality that everybody on before us or after us is out of here. So yeah, so that like I said, a lot of cats were scared to put us on the bill because they came after us, it was over. It was a wrap. I mean, that's documented. You can see that in the newspaper.
You
We
see
got a lot
that's
of dope concert reviews where we wax cats.
See, that mentality has always been a big thing with me because, like, whether you put me to open or end the show, I always do something dick-headed. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, and I hated the fact that when they used to put me to open before a whack DJ, I'd embarrass them. Like, and it's just like, if you don't know how to adapt to your environment, especially when it comes to dancing, like, say someone's gonna do something and copy back your move, and then you're just like, okay, I got a couple other ones in my head I'm gonna do next. You know what I mean? Like, or some secret stuff that you guys practice that no one ever knew you doing, and then that whole bragging and boasting is the biggest thing that I loved about dancing, because it gave you that self confidence. And trust me, the ladies loved you. Like, it's
Yeah,
just like, no matter,
bro.
like,
Kelly, promoters got mad at us, like even like I said, up to now, even recent, because we'll like be a situation, somebody might be fighting about who's going on last. We be like, for real, put us on first,
oh,
bro. We go on first, destroy everything. Promoter like, man, you almost killed me tonight, bro, because cats start walking out. You know, I put my man out there. We did a Houdini show at the House of Blues. And we opened up for somebody, and a lot of cats was leaving, and they was in rare form, you know, because we put it on them. We ain't playing.
so like now in your career is like you still gilded it, you still getting it, like you never stopped, like it just
Yeah, and like I said, and being older now, like I said, you have different moments for different crowds. Like now, I'm really, like I said, I'm still learning, man. Like the art and science of
mhm.
going to different places and seeing who's hitting. Because, like I said, we might hit, and I know for sure we're gonna hit in San Diego. But depending on who's on the bill, we might not hit in LA. You know, they
Right.
might like, LA is finicky. They might like somebody else that day. So, like I said, even like recently, my man Shock G, our last concerts we did together, rest in peace. We was in Palm Springs. He opened up, no fanfare, no nothing. Bro, did we go what 4 hours away to San Diego? Bro, it's a sea of people,
Wow.
all look like Humpty. So now, like I said, I'm
Wow.
older now, so I'm outside looking in. And I'm
Going,
like, wait a minute. Humpty is older than, at least 2, 3 years older than me. So these guys got to be at least 55, 56, 57. Like, and they all got the Humpty nose on. I mean, he had a whole movement, man. I
yep.
couldn't, like, the whole, at least first 10 rows was all Humpties. I
Wow.
was like, what? And he closed the show that night. So just like I said,
Nice.
4 hours away, he was the closer, headliner.
You see,
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
how was it working with Shock G? Like literally, like you hear all the different stories. I want to hear your story.
Well, it was dope because we caught him in the very beginning when they were doing the What You Like. The same director who did that video in Humpty Hump did Jeff's first two videos, Dropping Rhymes and Black to the Future. So we were like, they were like, editing in one room. We was coming in to do our edits. So we had, learned about them early. But it was a trip too, man. Because so many people was like that time in the Bay, that's when it was really, really popping. So it was all about, still Hammer. But these dudes called the Wild Boys. And later on, they became Christian. They was with Rockefeller. There was a singing group. Now, this is the trip right here. I've been telling people, that's why it's so hard for me to tell my Tupac stories. Because when it was the Wild Boys, Hammer, Soul Brothers, Shock G, Sway and Tech in the Morning, we were like the stars of that moment. Like Tupac was like a co-star. So when I tell my Bay Area story, like Tupac was there, but he wasn't Tupac as we know
Right.
him then. He was still, like I said, he was still Pac, you know what I'm saying? The same
Well,
confidence and all
yeah,
that
he was
shit.
a backup dancer
But
in with the group, so he was just
yeah,
coming up.
yeah. So it was all about Wild Boys and Hammers at that time, like I said, which is Christian. But yeah, it was like, and it was three more of them. But it was like, that was the talk of the town.
I
So
think the
yeah.
fact that when Pac came out with you got from that area is that they needed something different. They wanted something to compete with the rest of the gangster stuff that was
Mhm.
going on. And that's where you saw Pac go from same song to switching to I Got Me Trapped. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then that's where you saw the transition of all of that going down. And
yeah,
that's where the whole Bay Area changed. Like
yeah.
everything. And next thing you know, your Pac's in New York, and then he's in LA, and Pac was everywhere. So it was just like,
It was actually a trip, man, because he was rapping with his brother Ray Love at the time, and they
right.
were on the Panther tip. But Ray Love had some type of connection to Cab Calloway, so we was
Oh,
always talking to Ray Love. So Pac, you know what I'm saying, was like, came with Ray Love, but we were actually going out there to meet Ray Love to hear some Cab Calloway stories. Ain't that a trip?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
Tupac, like I said, so we met Tupac by default. So that's why I said, it's like I said, when I tell my story, it's like a trip to see, like I said, what he turned into.
So being around the the whole boogie area and all that stuff and the funk and everything, you got a chance to work with George Clinton, like and all any of that, like or even
Nah,
like
man. Only highlight I had with George Clinton, he came and bought some weed from me in '98. He came over with one of my Cuddy Max, Pave Plee. Shout out to him.
So I'm glad you touched on that because I know you a connoisseur like myself, and so and you still are to this day, actually. So I appreciate you on that because you've learned, like, you grew on that, you adapted to it. Now I know you're using it for medical uses, like pain, pain. As I said earlier, like, how do you feel now that it's legal and like the world's changed like this? Because come on, coming from back in the eras where you had to literally hide that, like stash that, not show that. Now you can just walk around going, "Ee."
And you know what? I feel the same because we've always been free with it. It's like the places where we needed to open up, even when it wasn't legal.
Yeah,
we always seem to open up. And then, like I said, that first tour we went on, sent ourselves on, like we smoked right on the public train, and like nobody said nothing. Like it was no problem. So yeah, like I said, we knew we didn't do it in daytime hours, like I said, when everybody was chilling. But yeah, man, they wasn't tripping at all, man. So yeah, I've always been free with it, man.
see, that's what I like because a lot of people in the game that is like. In my whole career, I've always told promoters everything. It got to the point where they're allowing me to smoke in the building because it's just that's who I am. Like and then when I got hurt, during that time there, after my medical stuff, I completely took it serious, and then I just cut the alcohol, everything else out, and just said, okay, I'm just gonna smoke. And then ever since then, my life has been so much better because I'm not like when I drank, it didn't sit well with me because in that scene, I didn't trust nobody because I'm in the clubs, I was in the things a lot. You know what I mean? And and getting a chance to talk to guys like you and saying, okay, what's the do's or don'ts? What should I not do? Like, what am I doing wrong, or what did I do right, or like there's certain things makes me happy to even have these conversations with guys like you in a game because I want to show people from the DJ side to the dancer side to the artist side to even behind the scenes what you guys go through because like you said, somebody sabotaged you on purpose because they knew that could have been a big break for your career. That scene right there would have been world known to this day. You know what I mean? And when you look at things like that, it's like when you get one break, another break puts you in a situation where it's like, okay, now you're in a humble situation where you're in a different fan base, so you're not caught up in that world. And that's what I feel is good for you because none of you guys have ever got caught up in that tabloid nonsense. Like, you know what I mean? Like how you see the game is right now.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about what is going on in our music genre right now? Like, what has hip hop changed in your mind that you are not accepting or like, in your terms?
Only thing I don't like about the game right now, because I don't have that. Like my son and all his friends always had played dope shit. So I never had to be that father that was, comparing my era to their era, always blended, So like I said, the only thing I don't like is there's like 12 times the US currency or any money from anywhere. It's 12 times the money that it was in my era. And Cash is not doing the right thing with it. Even for their own family and they own, what I'm saying? This started at home. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are blowing just a lot of bread, tricking, all kind of shit. But they could really be establishing shit for their family, for their kids, give them some direction. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only part that, like I said, just too much blowing bread. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time, enjoy yourself, treat yourself to nice things depending on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have no qualms with that. But handle business too. That's the fun part. Like I love to handle business and then go treat myself to something nice. You know what I'm saying? Then treat somebody, then see somebody else come up and let's see them come up. So like that's just my thing. So cause I don't want everybody to, to do it like I do it, but be wise with the bread. That's all. Just be wise with it because it's coming at abundance. And you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be in and out so fast. Cause I ask my the youngsters all the time, what rapper is this? What rapper is that? They don't even know. What's his name? I don't know. That was last year, So I was like, what? So yeah, that's the only part I could disagree with. But as far as music and talent and shit like that, I just happen to get lucky to always find some youngsters that's dope.
You know what? And I'm glad you said that because I just want to leave it on that note because that was the best thing anybody's ever said on that tip. Because a lot of people are just sitting there knocking the music, knocking everything, and all this stuff. And yes,
I don't
you because anything that you're doing to make money is as long as you feel that you're happy with it, you have a fan base, you have a crowd for it. That's good because a lot of people didn't like rock music compared to hip hop music. A lot of people didn't like metal music to a lot of other things. So, give out your social media and tell people how to get a hold of you.
Okay. All across all platforms, Soul Brother Legendary. At Soul Brother Legendary across all platforms. You want to Google me, you know what I'm saying? Go the whole full name, Legendary Ali Shabazz. That's
All right.